It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at Terra here, a co-op game, a tile-laying exploration game in which all the players are cavers. We've fallen down into some sort of cavern and we are trying to explore and get out. Because there's some creepy stuff down there, besides all the things you would expect like tremors and maybe cave-ins and things like that. There's something horrific going on and we need to avoid it and get out now. Let's take a look at how this works. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you if it's a good co-op game. To set up the game, we are going to place the starting tile in the center of the table. Everyone is going to pick one of the characters that they would like to play, one of the cavers, and they're going to take that board. They are going to place some health tokens on the board to represent that they are fully healed up. And also the board is going to tell them that they have some special powers throughout the game as listed right here. Some are passive, some must be triggered at the expense of actions, all right? So for this little scenario here, we are going to very simply say we're playing with 4 players, and we have our diver here. We are going to have our medic. We are going to have bodyguard, and we are going to have our climber. There you go. I'm just going to set these aside for now, but each player would have one of those. We place their little pieces on the starting tile. We are going to set the difficulty of the game using these cards, the number and the type of cards based on the number of players and how difficult you want the game to be. And then we are going to shuffle up all the tiles, put them in the tile rack here, making sure to include among the bottom 6 tiles the exit to our cave, which obviously is not in there now, but you would do that to set up the game. And then you're ready to begin. Everyone's going to be given some reference cards as well, so you can keep track of your possible actions and such, and you are ready to go. So you are attempting to find the exit and survive for as long as you can. Make it out. Try to have as many people make it out of the cave. So on your turn, you are going to take 2 actions. You have 2 built-in actions you can take. And you can spend those 2 action points, if you would, on whatever you would like. So, for example, you can explore. And you can flip over one of these tiles. You can say, okay, I'm going to start with the bodyguard here in red. They're going to explore out this way. I take a tile, I flip it, and I place it. As making sure that the exits there, that the pathways do line up. So they move on to that tile. That is the first action. So I could do that. I could also reveal a tile, could be my action. And so let's say that the bodyguard's second action is reveal. They're going to reveal in there. That means flipping a tile over, placing it somewhere, but not walking into it. You might do that if you are avoiding some dangers, okay? You can also move for an action. Now this player would be done, and it would be another player's go, okay? So you could move for an action. That's simply, move onto a new tile. You can run for an action. That means run over at least 3 already revealed tiles. You can heal someone, which means that's going to take both of your goes, both of your actions, and you heal 1 point of damage, either on yourself or someone else on your tile. Also, by the way, running does take both of your actions as well, your action points. And there's a few other things you can do dependent on the kinds of tiles you're standing on. I'll get to those in just a little bit. So that's what happened. So let's say that's what this player did, and let's move on to this character now, our diver. So the diver is going to explore this way. They draw a card and place it. And this one is a ledge. They're not going to be able to climb up that ledge unless they place a rope in that spot. Placing a rope, as well as a few other actions, is going to take a roll of the die. And it's very simple. Usually a success is 4, 5, 6. A failure is 1, 2, 3. Okay? However, they would need to spend some actions that they no longer have. They already spent one to place that rope, or to attempt to place that rope. So that's how that works. I do want to mention one thing before I go any further, though, and that is a character may, on their turn, choose to exert themselves. So let's say that we are starting with this character here. They're going to explore that way. They'll put this out for one action, and it's actually a dead end. They explored, so they walked. They come back here for their second action, but they feel like they want to do something else. Well, they're going to exert themselves to get one more action. You roll the die, you destroy everything. If you get a 4, a 5, or a 6, you are not damaged by that exertion. You did not hurt yourself exerting yourself, okay? You get the action anyway, even if you do hurt yourself. So you lock in a third action point, but you might take some damage because of it. So here we have a few of the different tiles you might see in the game. You might have these pools, and when this kind of card comes up, the flood, it's going to flood every one of these tiles on the board. You put one of these tokens on it to let everyone know that it is in fact now flooded, and it makes it harder to enter that tile. It would take both your action points to enter a flooded tile. We have also over here the gas, and that happens and is triggered when these cards come up. If someone is standing on that tile or enters that tile on the turn that this card is revealed, they are going to take some hits, and it's quite severe. And so we are going to place this token out on the board, somewhere near the board, to remind everyone, hey, be careful this round. Maybe peek at tiles before you run into them with the explore action, and so on. We also have cave-ins that are possible on some tiles. And the way that works is when a cave-in is triggered, we are going to roll the die, and it has there's 2 numbers out of the 6, so a 1 in 3 chance that you are going to create a cave-in on any one tile. In this case, indeed, I did. 3 or 2 would have done it, and we place a rubble token on that tile, making passage impossible until this is dug out, which is going to take some actions as well. And then lastly, over here, we have a creature, a horror, and that is its cave. It's a sleeping lair, if you would. That one is represented by these purple tokens. You place them out, and you place one in the spot closest to a character. Okay, whoever's closest will get one, and this is going to slowly move towards them. And if they ever share a space with one of the cavers, the caver is instantly drops unconscious. They are completely out of life at that point, okay? No matter how much they had. Also, if you ever reveal another one of these, and there already is one, that moves an extra step, which they normally would move anyway, once per round, and you add another one. There can be up to 3 of these in the game, all right? And then lastly, if you are taking too long, you might see this card. This is the very last card in the deck of cards, the out of time card. At that point, you really need to hurry, because every round after actions, you're going to roll a die, and if you fail, your flashlight has died and the darkness is going to consume you. So you are down to precious seconds at this point. That's basically it. So as you can see, lots of exploration, lots of different hazards you have to contend with, but you do have your diver powers that you can use to help you. One of my favorites, for example, being the diver here that lets me dive for both of my actions. That means I go down one of these pools and I come up another one on the board anyway. Very cool power, really interesting movement. And so you do have those to help you out, but it's still going to be a tough road ahead. That should give you enough of an idea of how the game works so you have an appreciation of how it should feel. Let's go back up top and let me tell you what I thought of it. All right, so there you go. That is Terra. Let's talk about it using my target audience system. Let's kick it off with thematic ties. I really enjoy this theme. I think it's original, it's captivating, it's engrossing. I like it very much, and I like the characters. And a theme like this allows for characters you might not see in other co-op games, right? The different tropes are a little bit different in this one because of the setting. Very much enjoy that. The aesthetics in this one is a little bit of a mixed bag, okay? You are going to have the artwork I find to be okay. I'm not particularly enamored with it, but it is functional. It's all right. I think the tiles are printed a little too dark. I get we are in a cavern, right? But the blue set on the black is a little dark for me. Sometimes I need to look a little closer than I'd like to just to tell if there is, in fact, a connection, you know, a cavern there that turns and goes the other way. So it's a little dark, the printing for me. I wish we could line that up a little bit. The plastic tokens and the wooden meeples included are very nice. I enjoy that a lot. The rubble tiles, the little plastic tokens. The water ones especially are really cool. But then the monsters are just these purple discs. That's kind of boring. The deck of cards is very nice. Great illustration and iconography on those. but the tile rack is a waste of time, and it doesn't even fit back in the box, right? So this, I have to take this apart to fit it back in the box. I have to take all these out, and then I have to take this off, and then I have to flop this thing over like so, and then next time I want to play, I gotta flop it open, and I don't like it, and it's pointless, really. There's no reason for that to be in the box. If it doesn't fit back in there built, then I'm not gonna build it every time I play. So again, kind of a mixed bag on that. Replayability has been pretty good so far. I had a really bad first experience with it, and that's because I think just the group mentality was to go slow. We did not to look ahead. We did not realize how tight the tile drawing was going to be, how important it was to blast through those 60 or so tiles, because the cards do not allow for anything else, the speed. So we were a little too meandering, we were taking our time, being careful, peeking this, that, and so we got obliterated, left a bad taste in my mouth. I've replayed a few more times, and that was just a first game fluke. It was weird. Now I mainly slowly peek ahead when the gas is the event, the current event, because if you walk in there, you're in trouble. But that's mainly it. So replayability is good. Scalability, on the other hand, I find a little bit iffy because you need a certain number of characters to be in play because you don't adjust the number of tiles. It's always all the tiles. If I'm playing with only 2 players, then we each need to control 2 cavers and so on. So I don't necessarily like that in games, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. I'm not going to knock it for that, but be aware of that. If you play solo, you play with several characters and so on. The game length feels good. You go through the tiles at a steady rate. You have real quick turns, so it moves along at a nice clip. You always feel involved, so the game length doesn't feel like it's drawing out, doesn't feel like you're waiting around. Very much enjoy that. The ease of play, which is fiddliness, and if there's any weird design choices, things like that, I'm very happy with it. Actually, to me, it feels like this game was designed with Eurogame sensibilities, using a really cool theme and really captivating setting. And I prefer co-ops like that, co-ops where they can simulate things that are done with simple, I said simplistic almost, but simple mechanisms, right? Something straightforward, like there's that terror stalking you. Just don't let it get to you. Run away from it, right? The cave-ins, very simple, a single roll of the die, exerting a single roll of the die, Everything is dealt with in a clean way, which really reduces how fiddly the game could be from a designer that perhaps got a little too charmed by the setting and wanted to throw in a whole lot of mechanisms to simulate reality. I appreciate that this designer did not do that. They stuck to their guns and they did something that is easy to play and approach and teach and enjoy, because it's not fiddly. There's no weird design choices here. I like everything in the way it's done. All of the special tiles, there's none that bother me. And that's saying something, I really enjoy that. So, lastly, tactics and strategy, and of course, luck. There's going to be a solid amount of luck. The party might get split, and then you hit dead ends. One way you thought was going to be fine, and you got to backtrack, and now you've got water in the way. And so, yes, luck is obviously a part of it. You are drawing tiles blindly. But good tactics will prevail in the end. I think a good plan, being careful, utilizing your actions smartly, making sure you're careful with not leaving anyone alone so that if they drop unconscious, they're in trouble and you skip a bunch of turns. You definitely don't want to do that. Being smart and learning how to play well is certainly part of the game. So that's all I got. I enjoy the game a lot, I'll tell you. I was surprised by it. It's definitely grown on me. I am enjoying it very much. And I would give it a higher rating if it was a better production. As it is, it's a pretty good production, but I'm not completely sold on every part of it. The tiles I wish were a little bit higher quality. In fact, I have one that's damaged in here somewhere. It's just got, from the back of it, you can tell that it's taken some damage. The corners are starting to wear off. The tile tower thing is pointless. but some of the components are great. So it feels like an uneven package. I'll tell you, if this game got a second printing with souped up looks, souped up components, I would be all over it. I would I would jump on that. But as it is right now, I'm giving this one a seal of approval. Really enjoy the game. Production is all right. It's pretty good. I think it could be better, and so some of those issues are holding it back for me a little bit. But still recommend it. Look into it if you get a chance. If you're a big co-op fan, I think you're going to like it. That is Terra. Seal of approval once again, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.